Chat, we got 4 real ways the Earth could be destroyed tomorrow.
We live on a tiny blue planet floating through space, and the universe is a mean place. We aren't as safe as you think. The universe isn't always kind to life. There are countless ways in which the Earth could be destroyed tomorrow, and some are more likely than others. And I'm not talking about the obvious stuff, like asteroids hitting the Earth. So let me show you 4
That's not like obvious, is it? Asteroids are just gonna hit the Earth, that's obvious.
of the most terrifying ways that the Earth could be destroyed literally tomorrow. And you need to be prepared, because when I learnt about the last one, I genuinely lost sleep for weeks.
Yo, chat, should we not watch this video? I don't know, bro.
In the depths of the cosmos exists an object that even Einstein didn't believe existed in reality. It wanders the galaxy all alone, and if it comes near our little blue planet, it wouldn't even have to touch us to end all life on Earth for eternity. The worst part is, it's invisible, and it's
What?
not alone. It's estimated that there might be 500 million of these terrifying objects wandering our galaxy.
The fuck are these
alone,
objects, bro?
and trillions more throughout the observable universe. I'm talking about rogue black holes. These are black holes that are born when massive stars reach the end of its life. The core collapses and leaves behind a black hole. This black hole will then wander the cosmos, invisible to the naked eye. There's a few methods that we can use to detect them, all of which rely on
I
looking
don't
at
understand black holes because, like, when you go in a black hole, where do you go? It's like a portal? I gotta like do some research on that.
how the black hole interacts with its environment. Sometimes we find them sucking matter off another star, and sometimes we see the star being whipped around the black hole by its intense gravity. Other times we actually can just find them by looking at how their gravity distorts the light behind them. This distortion effect is known as gravitational lensing. Stellar mass black holes that wander the galaxy all alone are much, much smaller than you might think. Stars like the
Yeah,
Sun
100%.
are more than 1 million kilometers wide, and giant stars like Betelgeuse can be even larger than that.
Is that the sun?
This may be the last ad you
Of
ever
course
see.
we're getting an ad, bro.
Because with the free ad
Just an
block
interesting
extension
video,
from
bro.
Capital One,
Wait, I'm confused.
More than 1 billion kilometers
It's the
wide.
sun, right?
That's as large as Jupiter's orbit around the sun.
the
But
stars.
because black holes are the densest objects in the known universe, a black hole with a mass equal to our sun would be just
This is
6
ours?
kilometers wide. This makes this kind of black hole nearly impossible to detect. The closest black hole that we found is Gaia BH1, a
so it's like
terrifying
trying
black
to
hole
find,
that's
like,
around
a human floating in
1,560
space.
light years away. And I'm sure you're like, oh well, that's fine. I mean, there's stars that are like 4 light years away, and we aren't worried that any of them are going to come crashing into us anytime soon. And I hear you, but get this. We have only found a few dozen of these black holes ever, and we think there's 500 million of them around us. Assuming they are evenly distributed throughout the galaxy, there should be one within around 50 light years of the Earth. Now I'm sure you don't feel quite as safe, do you? If a rogue black hole did
I mean, I do, because, like, the chances of that are so low, but...
happen to enter our solar system, things would get scary quick. We would only really be able to detect the black holes by seeing the distortion of space-time around the black hole's event horizon as it journeys towards us. There are 3 ways that the black hole could destroy life on Earth in this scenario. The most obvious would of course be the black hole swallowing the
No,
Earth
but wait.
hole. If the black hole made direct contact with Earth, it would quickly tear us apart.
Bro, but wouldn't, if a black hole got Earth, wouldn't Earth just go in the black hole? We just wouldn't have a sun, a moon. We just wouldn't have that? Would Earth just get destroyed? Is that how they work? I thought, like, maybe you go in there and, like, there's no more sun and moon, obviously, because you're in a hole, you know what I mean? But the planet can fit, then why would it break?
Consume the planet. This is the most unlikely scenario. The chances of it happening in our galaxy are about 1 in 1 billion. Another way to destroy the Earth would be if the black hole tidally disrupts our planet. This is where the black hole passes close enough to us such that the gravitational pull on the close side of the Earth is much stronger than the far side. This would lead to the planet being ripped apart and would transform the Earth into a stretched out stream of debris that looks like a piece of spaghetti, earning this process the scientific name spaghettification. The chances of this happening would be about 1 in 10 million. These odds are still small, but not that small. It's more likely
Yes, they are
than
that
you
small.
winning the jackpot on a Powerball lottery ticket. And finally, life on Earth could be completely
so.
destroyed, even if the black hole
I would hope the
comes
chances of
nowhere
me
near us.
losing the. I would hope I have higher chances to win the jackpot than for a star to fucking. What's it called? This shit to crash into Earth.
If it simply passed through somewhere in the vicinity of the solar system, it could disturb the orbits of all of the planets, causing Earth to be sent flying out of the solar system or even into the sun. This option is by far the most likely. There is a 1 in 10,000 chance that a black hole passes within the orbit of Jupiter over the course of the solar system's history. If we do one day discover that a black hole is on a collision course with the Earth, I personally hope that they keep it from us, because frankly there's nothing we could do. We would just have to accept our fate. 150 million kilometers away from the Earth is our biggest friend and perhaps biggest enemy. The sun gives Earth life, but it can just as easily take it away. Roughly every 11
yeah, of
years, the
course,
sun goes
everything
through
would
a
die.
cycle of getting progressively more active before calming
Wait
down.
a minute. How quick would it take for like things to start dying if the sun went away? Like I know, like I don't think we'd be able to survive. Actually, no, I take that back. No, I take that back. Humans could survive. I don't think we'd be healthy because I think sunlight's important. But plants would die. They wouldn't die as quick. Like maybe they die like a month. Like no sun for a month. All the plants die. That means like no more fresh food. I mean, obviously humanity would probably like, what's it called? Life would probably end.
For a few years. And the terrifying part is, we have literally just entered into
Well,
the
no, because what's trying to reach your chat. That's a good point, but if we lose all those resources and all the food, then we wouldn't be able to survive. I know that if the sun went away, we wouldn't all just die, but if the sun went away, we wouldn't have plants, which we used to eat and all.
next solar maximum just a few weeks ago. I've spoken on this channel before about how in a few billion years, the sun will run out of
Fuck
fuel
people
and
with solar
expand
panels.
into a red supergiant, consuming the Earth. But this is not the danger I'm talking about. I'm talking about solar storms. Solar flares and coronal
They got
mass
storms, okay.
ejections are events that essentially consist of really quickly moving charged particles being ejected from the sun and shot out into space. There is constantly a stream of these particles being shot out of the sun, and this forms what we call solar
Why does
wind.
it look like a
But these
Roku-
focused events can be
Roku
extremely
screensaver?
dangerous if they are aimed at the Earth.
When I say all
Perhaps
the
the best
planets, like
example of
random
this is
lines
back
and
in
shit.
1859. An astronomer named Richard Carrington was tracking a really massive sunspot when all of a sudden he saw a massive white flash of light. This blinding white light flare lasted for a total of 5 minutes, and just 18 hours later, havoc ensued here on Earth. Aurora was seen all around the globe, and mining workers were awoken during the night because they thought that it was daytime. It was just so bright outside due to the aurora. Telegraph systems even caught fire despite being entirely disconnected. This would forever go on to be known as the Carrington event, the strongest geomagnetic storm in recorded history. If something like that happened today, it would likely cause millions of people to die and many, many trillions of dollars worth of damage. The reason these storms are so dangerous comes down to how they actually form within the sun. When we look at the sun using our modern technology, we can see these loops, tendrils, and streams of hot ionized plasma. Plasma is just atoms that have been cooked to be so hot that they lost all of their electrons, just leaving the atomic nuclei behind. And all of these explosive features are caused by the sun's magnetic fields. The hot charged particles get caught in the magnetic field that's generated within the sun's surface, causing them to travel on these massive arches. We are literally seeing the magnetic field with our own eyes right there. These magnetic field lines enter and exit the surface of the sun super randomly, and because they are so strong, we often see them loop back, split apart, and then reconnect. When this happens, the particles get accelerated really quickly and kind of shot out of the sun like a slingshot.
Chad, it starts second
This
ahead in like 2 minutes.
game-
I swear, I'm done.
You're not ready for it.
The EVE Online Experience play for free trailer. Nobody's playing that shit, buddy.
traveling through the vacuum of space at up to 9 million kilometers per hour. That's fast enough to go from New York to Tokyo in just 5 seconds. We will surely have to face one of these events sometime this century, and
What?
when we do...
This century? Whoa, buddy. What did we just say?
When this happens, the particles get accelerated really quickly
I went back
and
way
kind
too
of
far.
shot out of the sun like a slingshot, traveling through the vacuum of space at up to 9 million kilometers per hour. That's fast enough to go from New York to Tokyo in just 5 seconds. We will surely have to face one of these events sometime this century, and when we do...
This century, bro. You got me stressing now, bro. It's in the next 10 years.
it will get ugly. The storm would be detected and then arrive at the Earth within 24 hours,
God.
meaning we would have just one day to shut the entire world's power grid off in preparation. The charged particles would rain down on Earth,
Oh, we
pushing
just go,
through our
like, silent, we just
magnetosphere
all
and
turn off
reshaping
all
our
power.
own magnetic field. Granted, the aurora would be stunning, but that's where the fun
Bro, what if I'm
stops.
trying to stream that day, chat? And they make me shut off my stuff, bro.
Currents of electricity would be induced in the power grids, causing surges of power that result in power stations and transformers exploding. All of the communications infrastructure would be completely offline, so these fires would just continue to burn uncontrolled. Nearly everyone in the Western world would likely be without power for weeks, months, or even
Oh, we
much
lose power.
longer. And those in underdeveloped countries would likely suffer
Yeah.
for years. Millions
Years,
worldwide
oh
would freeze, starve, or die of dehydration. And I know all of this sounds terrifying, but the worst part is, this is honestly the least scary way Earth could be destroyed that's being covered
Yeah, we got,
in
like,
this
2 more.
video. So take a deep breath, because things are about to get crazy.
That's the worst part is we got like 2 more.
Have you ever noticed that every few months it feels like there's a news headline saying an asteroid
solar
is about
eclipse
to
out.
hit the Earth, or aliens have finally
Chat, I
visited
thought
us?
solar eclipses were supposed to be rare. Like, I remember the first solar eclipse that I was alive for happened when I was in, like, 1st grade. They said it's, like, a once-in-a-lifetime, like, every 75 years experience. I swear we had, like, 3 since. They hype them up, and it's just, like, a star that goes in front of the sun. Yeah, it's fascinating if you have, like, a really good telescope, but if you're wearing them stupid glasses, it's really not that good.
When it comes to space, the media is known to sensationalize science. The best tool I've found to help me consume news in a more transparent way is Ground News, the sponsor of today's
Oh,
video.
God.
Founded by former NASA engineer Harleen Kuhl, who worked on the James Webb Space
is
Telescope and New
10
Horizons
minutes
mission,
of a small
check
clip.
their services out. This next terrifying way that the Earth could be destroyed was actually discovered by complete accident. In 1963, during the height of the Cold War, the UK, US, and Soviet Union all came together and agreed that they would not detonate nukes in the atmosphere or out in space. But this was just everyone agreeing to not do something. I mean, how could they really trust each other? And so, the US, doing what the US does, decided to launch a bunch of satellites named Vela to monitor and see if the Soviets were being honest. These satellites were mostly just looking for X-rays and gamma radiation. These are markers
We
that
try to
would
make
be
the next
released
Hulk? Gamma
if a
radiation?
nuke was
What the fuck?
detonated in the atmosphere. They never
probably
found
sound
any
so
signs
stupid.
of nuclear testing. But one day, both of the satellites had a huge spike of gamma radiation. Weirdly, it didn't appear to be coming from the Earth, and scientists had no idea what caused the spike. So they waited, and it happened again, and then again, and again,
Damn.
until by 1973, they had found 16 of these gamma ray bursts. It would take a further 20 years for us to finally solve the mystery of these gamma ray bursts. We know now that these
Oh my
flashes
God.
of gamma rays were being caused by either 2 neutron stars merging together, or by core collapse supernovae,
stars
like the black hole
touch.
formation that we were just talking about. When a massive star runs out of its nuclear fuel, the core collapses. In this process,
get
a gamma
nuclear
ray
fuel.
burst is created. As the star collapses, a black hole is formed, and very strong magnetic fields keep some of the star's material from falling straight into the black hole. This magnetic field guides material to the poles of the star, where it is then shot out into space at nearly the speed
Bro,
of
how do we
light.
know all
like
this
a
shit, bro.
cosmic
We haven't
death
even-
beacon.
we've been to
Anything
space,
in
like,
the way
a
of these
couple
beams
times,
of
bro.
hot plasma
We haven't been
is
any-
in
to any
danger.
other
The beam
planets
is
other than
comprised of this
fucking
stellar plasma,
Moon,
gamma rays,
isn't even a planet,
electrons,
it's a
and
moon.
positrons, and it's
We've never touched
seriously
Mars,
deadly.
like-
In less than a second, these GRBs produce as much energy as the sun will emit over the course
like we
of
know
10
all this shit right now, but, like, do we
years.
really
They
know?
are
Like-
so powerful that we can detect
Obviously,
them from
telescope
billions of
science.
light years away.
Like, I
These
would like to
extremely distant GRBs from
kinda
other
wondering why
galaxies
we
are
haven't gone on
still
Mars yet.
powerful enough to disrupt
We
our
sent
radio
drones up there. Actually,
communications here on
why
Earth.
is our mission Mars right now? We should be going farther, dude. I feel like if Mars had life on it, they would probably advanced life. I'm saying like life that's worth looking for, because there's probably life on plenty of planets that's just so undeveloped. It's like looking at ants. Like, why would we ever care? You know what I mean? But then there's probably life out there that's far away, that's really high developed. And my theory is they're either just like not, like they're passing up on the America. No. The Earth. They're either passing up on the Earth because like we're undeveloped and all, or maybe like they're just not there. I don't know. Maybe they're too far, or maybe they're not developed. I think that's a very good theory. Is like they are so far ahead of us that we're just like how we would view Mars as life, and like how like we view ants is how they view us. You know what I mean? Ants are undeveloped creatures. They can't do a lot. They're small. They can carry shit, but like they really can't do a whole lot. So there's no worth of like extincting ants or learning from ants, really. You know what I mean? But then you look at fucking. That's why I see like the aliens or whatever species it is. They might be really, really high developed. So they look at Earth. They're like, oh, we don't need Earth right now. You know what I mean?
Any gamma ray
So I
burst
think,
within
like,
a
artificial
200
intelligence
light
could
year
probably-
radius that makes a direct
The more we
hit
advance, I
to
think there's a
Earth
chance
will
of like, coming
vaporize
to
our
us instead of
planet.
we coming to it.
The atmosphere would be ionized and harmful radiation would rain down on all of Earth's creatures. It would be a slow and painful death. And what's worse, it has happened before. 440 million years ago, the Earth underwent the second largest mass extinction event in history.
wait.
Second to, of course, the
Pangea?
dinosaur-killing asteroid. 85% of all
is that just a
species on
theory?
Earth went extinct. It is believed that a hypernova event occurred around 6,000 light years away from Earth. If the gamma ray burst lasted just 10 seconds, Earth's atmosphere would have been stripped of half of its ozone nearly immediately. This exposed all of the animals on Earth to high levels of UV radiation. And the researchers leading this theory have estimated that an event like this should occur at least once
I don't
every
understand how the
billion
meteor
years or
and
so.
the
The
asteroid
chances
destroyed,
are,
like,
of
all the
course, low,
dinosaurs,
but
but it didn't
not
destroy
zero.
any, like,
And
life.
realistically, there's
It didn't destroy
nothing
all,
we could
like,
do
it
to
destroyed
save
every
the
single
Earth.
dinosaur.
So whether it happens a billion years from now or literally tomorrow, I'm sure whoever's around then will not be having a good day.
My work is easy because I use Clicker.
I don't know.
Here's how I keep track of all my
Motherfucking-
tasks. I start by brain dumping everything I need to get done.
This final method for how the Earth could be destroyed
Okay.
tomorrow is the most horrifying because it wouldn't just destroy the Earth, it would destroy the entire universe instantly.
Well,
I'm serious.
It
What I'm-
destroys the universe. Like, there's no real difference, right? Like, we're not. It's not like there's a chance we make a run for it on like a spaceship or something, dude. I
talking
doubt it.
about is known as false vacuum decay, and people often make it sound really complicated when I think anyone can understand it. First, I want you to think about energy levels. I mean,
I know we could-
everything
we could
has
prepare
an
for it,
energy
but-
level. Think of these like the increasing levels on a stovetop. Level 1 is,
Chat,
of course,
interesting theory. Do you think there's ever going to be a time where Earth is under such a threat, like one of these crazy threats that's happening in the galaxy, that we start preparing to move planets? You know how like when people prepare for a hurricane, they might just get out of Florida, you know what I mean? Like, do you think there's gonna be a chance that maybe we're like, Earth's gonna get destroyed? We have like a couple months, let's build spaceships and let's leave, you know what I mean? Do you think that's ever possible? I think it could happen.
the lowest level, while level 9 is the highest. The higher the energy level, the more energy. In physics classes, we are
We had
most
time to
often
prepare for
taught
it.
about this in the context of electron energy levels, because they can only occupy distinct, specific energy levels. And the fact that we hear repeated all the time is that everything is more stable in its ground state. This is the lowest energy level. Every system in our universe follows this rule, and that is the key to destroying the universe. And here's where things typically get confusing, because we're about to delve into quantum field theory. But stick with me. Quantum field theory just tells us that all of the elementary particles that make up the
again, it's
universe,
just a
the
theory,
quarks, leptons, and bosons, they are all created by quantum fields that are present all throughout the universe. These fields tell all the particles how they can interact with one another, essentially giving us the laws of the universe. And these quantum fields, just like the electron, also want to be in their lowest ground stable state. Let's call it a vacuum state. Physicists are convinced that all of the fields associated with all the particles of the universe are in their vacuum states, all of them except for one. The Higgs field, associated with the famous Higgs boson, is what gives all particles in the universe their mass. And since how massive an object is relates to how much gravity it possesses, the Higgs field is really important. If the Higgs field is not actually in its vacuum state right now, things get scary. Imagine a ball that rolls down a hill and rests in a nice little valley. It appears to be stable. This is the Higgs field ball, and from the outside it seems like it has achieved its vacuum state, but it hasn't. It can keep going down even lower to a more stable state. And if this happened, if a section of the Higgs field somewhere out there in the universe achieved its true vacuum state through quantum tunneling, this would set off a chain reaction. The real vacuum state of the Higgs field would spread throughout the universe like a wildfire, converting the rest of the field as it grows. It would travel throughout the universe at the speed of light. Everything this expanding true vacuum state touches will
What the
simply be annihilated from existence. It will grow like this until the entire observable universe is, well, gone.
basically like another
The
black
Earth
hole,
would
pretty much.
disappear instantly, and all of the laws governing the universe would likely change. Maybe life could form again, but we really would just have no idea
Not
what the
our
universe
life.
would
We wouldn't
even
be
look
alive to see
like.
it.
Ultimately, we don't really know if vacuum decay is real or not. Our current accepted models of physics suggest that it could be, but it's not like we have observed it or anything like that. And even if it does turn out to be true, it's not like there's anything we could really do to stop it. So try not lose sleep over it. I know I have.
Joe, that was a great video. What's this guy's name, bro? That was great. That was so interesting. Astro Kobe, he's 2.7 million, dude. What the fuck? How's that been going for? One more video before bed, one more video. The sun, literally, the definition of I brought you in this world, I can take you out of it. Hard to fathom how vulnerable are the miracles on this planet. But tomorrow I have to go to the gym. Okay, I'll make sure we save tomorrow just for you. So that's a great video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, subscribe, and see you guys in the next one. Bye.